Coming up on Mountain News this morning, dedicated fans continue to mourn the loss of our coal miner's daughter, Loretta Lynn, and honor the legacy she leaves behind. And attorneys continue to help people in our region who may face issues as they continue to seek assistance to help themselves recover and rebuild after disaster.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning to you. 6 o'clock here on this Thursday morning, or Friday Eve, as we like to call it around here. Let's head over to Letcher County, where we find our Brandon Robinson this morning. And Brandon, buddy, I just know you're missing me something awful this morning.
Listen, I had to get back, even though I'm in quarantine,
Yeah.
to make sure I could, keep you in mind.
Well, hey, you know what? Listen, we were texting while you were in, and I'm glad you're okay. Obviously, I'm glad you're okay. But we were texting, and you were still keeping me in line from Letcher County. So
that's right. That's right. But yeah, can't come back to the station just yet.
Yeah.
Feeling better. Sound a lot worse than I actually feel, but still in the COVID quarantine.
Right.
Day 4, I guess now.
Yeah.
Well, actually day 3, because it just was tested positive on Monday night. But anyway, let's see what's going on across our region this morning. US 119, US 23 at Jenkins. Looking again a little bit on the quiet side this morning. A little chilly up there too. We're seeing again temperatures in the 30s and 40s across our entire region. 39 Irvin, Manchester, actually back to 40 in the Crater down in Middlesboro this morning, and down to 37 in Jonesville and Clintwood as well. Everybody else is in the mid to upper 40s. Some low 40s back out toward I-75 and Lake Cumberland. 49 at Jackson continues to be our warm spot this morning. Statewide, 56 Paducah, 54 Owensboro, 47 across the river in Cincinnati, 46 in Knoxville, 48 Nashville, and 43 in the Tri-Cities and Charleston, West Virginia. So a little extra to max warming needed on your coffee meter this morning. And the donut forecast for the next dozen hours, it is going to be a picture-perfect day as we keep removing those donuts back and forth with the clouds a little bit. So you may see more clouds at times, more sun at times, and the temperatures top out in the mid-70s this afternoon. Dakota.
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, country music fans from around the world are taking time to remember the life and light that was Loretta Lynn, saying she gave a stage to many women who never felt they had a voice, and that to a region that was often overlooked. And she often did that by taking the stage in the place she called home. Our buddy Forbes has more from some of the venues that borrowed her voice.
The world was her stage, but she always took time to come back to Eastern Kentucky.
Loretta Lynn's career blossomed into something that was larger than life.
She is an icon, a legend. I would call her the queen of music in Eastern Kentucky.
But the Van Leer Rose never forgot where she was rooted.
That's one of the reasons, too, that a lot of people look up to her, very down to earth, and just made it big, and she didn't forget her raisins.
The country music icon made it a point to use her platform to promote Eastern Kentucky and use its platforms to celebrate music with her hometown fans.
She drove here to walk around herself, and once she saw it here, she told her manager to call the Mountain Arts Center and book the show.
Performing all around the world, but always keeping her mountain upbringing in the lineup.
That's one of their idols, and they know that Loretta played here, and so the influence is immeasurable.
A career full of sharing stories from back home, which saw its final applause when the legend died Tuesday.
It just hits. It hits home.
Leaving a legacy of inspiring other Appalachian artists to raise their fullest voice and dream with their fullest hearts.
This is going to impact, of course, not only Eastern Kentucky, but the country music scene in general. A lot of aspiring artists, and then artists that have made it big, have looked up to Loretta.
Celebrating home wherever she went.
Her presence will always be known here, for sure.
Cementing herself at home long after she's gone. Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, fans say the news of her death is still something that is hard to swallow, but Loretta's dedication to home and her people is one of the things that will forever keep her music playing here in the mountains. Well, flowers adorn the doorstep of Loretta's beloved ranch in Humphreys County, Tennessee. Many people passed through. Some left flowers while others took pictures outside the gate of her home. And Lisa Box was born and raised in nearby Waverly. She says she naturally got to know members of the Lynn family through the years.
Back in the day when I was younger, we could see her in Walmart and everybody would be so ecstatic to see her.
Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis says Loretta will be laid to rest at her ranch in a private ceremony. Specifics of those arrangements have not yet been announced. Reactions from stars across the country and worldwide continue to come in following Loretta Lynn's death at the age of 90. Country music singer and songwriter Bill Anderson says Loretta was one of a kind and that she would stand up to anyone.
She would stand up to anybody. Tenacity, I think, is a great word, because what she had to overcome just growing up and in her normal life, and then she had to kind of fight her way into the music business in the beginning. It was a happy day in heaven for Conway Twitty. I'm sure he saw Loretta coming in, and he said, "Hello, darling. It's been a long time."
During her 60-year career, Loretta had more than 50 top 10 hits and won just about every music award you can think of. One of the many other singers paying tribute to Miss Loretta is Lawrence County native Ricky Skaggs. Skaggs says he knew her for a long time and says she opened many doors for young women who want to take the stage in the world of country music.
It was the perfect time. She was the perfect voice. She wrote most all of her hit songs, and she never steered away from the truth. She always was drawn to singing about the truth, not just making something up, but she always wrote songs about her true life and the way she felt about stuff.
Skaggs believes much of Loretta's legacy will be her songwriting, and he says she will always shine not just in country music, but in the music industry as a whole. Well, the Grand Ole Opry will pay tribute to Loretta this week during all of its 97th birthday shows. Organizers aim to honor her life and contributions to the Opry and country music. And for a list of shows and events, you can just head to Opry.com. As we deal with the heartbreak that came with late July's historic flooding, organizations continue to help those who were impacted. Apple Red Legal Aid held a disaster relief clinic Wednesday. 5 attorneys with Apple Red were at the Whitesburg Kane Kitchen helping people with FEMA appeals and other disaster-related issues. Attorney Whitney Bailey says they understand how overwhelming it has been for families to receive denials during this stressful time.
In my mind, a denial isn't necessarily the end of the line. That's just the starting point of like, let's keep this process rolling. Come talk to Apple Red, talk to any attorney that is willing to help you with these appeals, and we're able to ideally get people a little bit more money as far as FEMA claims go.
Bailey says they hope to continue to have clinics like they did yesterday, but if you still need assistance, you can call the Apple Red hotline using that number you see on your screen. Well, COVID cases are trending down here in Kentucky. On Wednesday, the state health department reported nearly 4,000 new cases in 1 week. That's around 3,400 fewer cases than the week before. 61 new deaths related to COVID were also reported. The state's positivity rate is down to 7.7%.
6:08 here on this Thursday morning, Friday Eve. We're looking at UVA-wise. You can actually maybe see some stars there in the distance as we see current conditions over there in Southwest Virginia at 45, visibility 10 miles, and at Dew Point at 37. A little chilly over in parts of Southwest Virginia, including Jonesville and Clintwood, who are both at 37, and Manchester and Irvin, who are both at 39. Jackson continues to be the hot spot at 49 up on the ridge at the Julian Carroll Airport. The next 12 hours, we're going to see temperatures climb steadily as we head through the daytime hours up into the mid-70s by this afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds, and things should look pretty good there. Head on out and see Jenny Wiley. Head on out and see Cameron at the Jenny Wiley Festival over in Prestonsburg and do a little bit of guess weather, get you some festival food. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. It's almost 6:10 when we come back here on Mountain News this morning. The first family of the United States takes a first-hand look at the devastation left behind in Florida after Hurricane Ian swept through. That's coming up next.